The rest of the Science Show today is about soil, snow and ice, with lots of Ernest Shackleton. But we get down to the good earth first by looking at some of its inhabitants, slime moulds. We're rather fond of them at the Science Show, not least dogs vomit slime. Here's Sarah Lloyd with a foretaste in Tasmania.
Slime moulds have mystified naturalists and scientists for centuries. In about 1750, when Swedish botanist Carl Linnaeus was devising his system of classification, he settled on two kingdoms, plants and animals. At the time, slime moulds were thought to be fungi, mostly because they reproduce by spores and are often found in much the same places as fungi, so they were both included in the plant kingdom. It soon became clear that fungi are different from plants. They don't have green cells for photosynthesis, and their structure is very different. So the fungi kingdom was added and slime moulds were included. But slime moulds also have two feeding stages. The most conspicuous is the moving feeding stage known as the plasmodium, an acellular structure with multiple nuclei but no cell walls. Based on the fact that they move about and feed, slime moulds will move briefly to the animal kingdom. Plasmodia, which can be yellow, white, red, blue or green, feed on bacteria, fungi, algae, probably each other, usually out of sight within logs or stumps and other organic material. But they are seen on the surface where they eventually form fruiting bodies. Interestingly, it is this plasmodial stage that often makes the news, because plasmodia, which are essentially one giant cell, are easy to keep in the laboratory on a diet of rolled oats, or E. coli, or other bacteria. Experiments have demonstrated that they can find their way through mazes to find food, and they have been used to design transport systems. The other feeding stage is their single-cell amoeboid stage, and based on this they are now considered to be amoebozoans in the kingdom Protista or Protoctista, a kingdom that includes a very diverse array of microorganisms that are neither a plant, animal nor fungus. There are approximately 1,000 species of slime mould throughout the world, with about 330 species known from Australia. I have found over 120 different species in the wet eucalypt forest within about 200 metres of my home in northern Tasmania. Of these, at least 4 were new to science. While it is obviously an advantage to live in a forested location with ready access to study these ephemeral, unpredictable organisms, my research and the increasing interest in slime moulds worldwide strongly suggests that slime moulds are very common. One of the reasons they have escaped people's attention is their average size of about 2 millimetres tall. However, they display a wonderful array of forms and colours, and many are exquisitely beautiful, with striking iridescence or delicate networks of threads that encase the spores. There is certainly a burgeoning interest in these understudied organisms, especially from macrophotographers who are eager to capture their intricate forms. One of the most conspicuous and commonly seen species is Fuligo septica, also known as dog's vomit slime. It forms large, usually yellow, amorphous blobs up to 20 centimetres across on logs, stumps and ground litter. It often appears on mulch in home gardens, where it seems to particularly like coffee grounds.
Coffee grounds in the forest, eh? Well, Sarah Lloyd returns next week with lots on her work with slime moulds around Australia and more on dogs vomit slime, you'll be pleased to know.